It seemed like Friday night was two good teams just really going at it. Was that the kind of wrestling you like to see?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we knew, obviously Nebraska has a great team and really good coaches. So, yeah, it was a nice environment. So you expect, you knew it was going to be a big match, and you get a lot of good information on what we can do better. When you see that kind of competition. So, we didn't wrestle great, but we wrestled, I guess, well enough. But more importantly, we can just kind of take that experience and grow and learn from it.
I would have to think that Davis's match at 33 is probably one of those ones to learn from and grow.
Yeah, I think he got caught in that Jonesy, which is it's a strong move and it happens a lot. And yeah, I think he could you have a lot of time, and with 3-point takedowns you can claw your way back. You just have to be steady. So, but yeah, I think it was fine. I mean, hopefully I think the takeaway for him was just that you're down 7 points, but there's still plenty of time to come back and win that match. And so, but it's just all experience, and as they say, experience can be expensive and painful. So, but yeah, I think everyone's fine overall. And yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to obviously Rutgers on Friday, and we have the rest of the Big Ten coming up. So a lot to look forward to.
Cael, are you curious to see maybe how Van Ness responds this week? It was a tough match, two good kids.
Yeah. I think that could be an NCAA final match there, right? And Shayne's a guy who just gets better and better. So yeah, I think he's some little things that he can pick up from the match, but I think he's still a guy that he's just going to continue to get better at a fast rate, just because he hasn't had that many matches in his career, and those types of opportunities. So yeah, I'm not worried about Shayne. I think he'll be good, and just ran into a tough kid, one of the guys he's going to have to beat to be the national champ.
He said earlier this year that I guess last year not being on the mat gave him an opportunity to kind of step back and become maybe more patient, more grateful for the time spent.
Yeah.
Do you notice that, and in what ways has that maybe shown up that maybe he's a little bit more patient, he can deal with things a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's continuing to just kind of grow up and mature and in all areas. I mean, he's always been just kind of a killer mentality-wise as a competitor, but I think he's becoming a great leader for us, and just a consistent guy that you can just count on to kind of have that even and level energy that everyone kind of feeds off of it. So yeah, I think as tough as being off the mat for a year with an injury, I mean, there's always something you can pick up from it. And I think a big thing too is just being patient with yourself also as you're continuing to climb and to just see how good you can become. So I think yeah, Shayne's on a good path. He's doing a great job. He's working hard. He's been very consistent, and those big matches, it's 1 second here and relaxing for 1 second there. So that's kind of obviously a big takeaway from the dual meets. We just got to kind of wrestle through positions a little bit better.
Back-to-back tough matches for Luke Peterson coming up.
Yeah.
That winning takedown on Friday, was that sort of like you just had the feel for the sport? Is that something you sort of don't teach?
Yeah, I mean, Luke's, he's special, right? He's got a great feel, and in addition to his athleticism and his speed, and I think he just loves competing, but he just loves the sport. So he has a great feel, and I think he'll just keep getting better. I say that about everybody, but I believe that, and he'll be able to go get his takedown off his own shots. But it's good to see that he can score off somebody else's shot when needed to, or just have the poise that he's shown in those tight matches, which is obviously unusual for a kid that's a true freshman, and a guy like him too. I mean, he's just been so successful throughout his career. I mean, sometimes those guys they don't find themselves in those types of situations very often, where it's a one takedown. So his poise and just he's a special kid.
David Taylor said recently, I believe, that he'd like to see national duels make a return with Power 4 schools, and specifically in November before conference play. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
I saw that coming around again. I mean, they have somebody that's trying to host the event down in Oklahoma. you know, I think that's just kind of always been what people think's the answer is you know, the national duels. You know, I don't really feel any differently now than I do about it 10 years ago, right? I mean, I think, you know, you can create a big event without including every team in the country, right? I think it's sad that we think we have to have the national duels to create a big event. I mean, we have a lot of really exciting teams, a lot of up-and-coming programs. So does it have to be a national duels? That just seems to be the mentality that comes back and resurfaces all the time. But yeah. So yeah, I think there's there's obviously some merit, you know, to the idea, but it's just kind of like a broken record, I think.
To go back to the question about Lihlidal, how do you feel that matches like he just had Friday will help him, you know, build on that to even get into the postseason in his first postseason?
Yeah, I think you know, you're just wrestling a very experienced wrestler, a strong wrestler, you know, a successful, one of the top guys in the country, you know, at their home, and you're a true freshman. I mean, that's it just kind of shows that you've got a lot of potential and ability. You know, I think being able to push the pace like he did, and then also be able to have this, you know, the ability to scramble and control the center of the mat, and just all the things he did, I think it's just everything's a step for him. But I think that's just another step for him in his pursuit of being the best wrestler in the world. I mean, that's his goal. He wants to be an Olympic champion, and you know, the first step is just how you compete, you know, in big matches, if that's your goal. And he does a great job, and he's just himself. I mean, that's all we would ever ask or hope for our kids to do and be, is just, you know, be true to yourself and what you want and how you want to compete, and do that on the big stages. That's why we do this. That's what makes this fun.
We saw Beau take a last-second victory, you know, from behind at a point in the match that looked like it could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
What does it say about his character and, you know, fighting to when there's only zeros on the clock?
Yeah, I think Beau, when he really wants to score, it's hard to stop him. You know, whether it's a reversal like we saw or just getting that takedown. Yeah, you don't like to see matches come down to the end like that, but I mean, that's, again, one of the top guys in the country and very experienced, and Beau did what he needed to do to win the match, and you know, he lands on his feet, you know, in scrambles and whatever the situations are. He just has that ability to pull those kinds of things out.
Cael, considering what the scoreboard said on Friday, why did you think the team maybe didn't wrestle great?
Well, we just look at the individuals. I think, you know, we look like maybe we were a little tired, but there were a lot of different factors too. You're on the road, you know. Obviously, when you wrestle a really good team, they have the ability to make you feel like you didn't wrestle great too. So you got it's late, you know, at night, you know, all those different things you're trying to factor in as we're thinking about the future and then training and what adjustments we need to make. But yeah, I think the guys wrestled well. I mean, that's one of those duels that, you know, right away when you see that it comes up in the scheduling, you're like, all right, this is a big match. We got to be ready to go. You know, Nebraska's always got a great team, and every one of their guys are really good, and they're going to be ready for us. So, but yeah, you're just thinking about each individual, and, you know, what was their energy like? You know, what were we just kind of look in their eye? You know, all those little different things. You know, technically, were we sharp? And the other thing too is you don't want to be at your absolute best in January either, right? I mean, we're trying to get ready to win the Nationals in March and be at our best in March, more so. So, but yeah, I mean, credit to, you know, Nebraska. I mean, they're a great program, and we got some great programs coming up.
I know some guys watch film, other guys don't. I know you guys are always really worried about what you do. But
Yeah.
how often, Cael, do you go back and watch another match or watch something that you need to debrief with a guy to talk something over with?
Yeah, it just depends on the individual. You know, even as a coaching staff, we're all a little bit different. I mean, I think when you walk away from the match, I mean, you have a pretty good idea, you know, what you think you need to work on. But at the same time, you know, the kids have to be bought in. I mean, you can work on whatever you think the kids need to work on as a coach, and you could spend all day, every day, but if it's not what they think they need to work on, you don't get a lot out of it, right? So it's kind of that balance of working with them to help them figure out what's going to make them more confident. And if they're confident, then they'll compete well. So I think it's just a balance of those things. But I think coming away from matches, I mean, it's really easy to be a critic, right? I mean, everyone if you watch wrestling, everyone can see what we're doing wrong. Hey, we need to sprawl here. Our whistle starts aren't great. We're letting them get to their feet off the whistle or whatever. So anybody can see what's wrong. And the trick is getting kids to make those adjustments, right? In stressful situations when they're going to rely on their instincts. So I think it's just a balance of getting to know your guys and then just helping them to kind of progress along the path or at their pace, because that's how it's going to work.
One more.
Josh was very dominant in his match,
Yeah.
Seemingly not letting his opponent breathe. What does that kind of say about, maybe last season when he only wrestled in one Big Ten tool, was focusing the whole year, and now it's paying fruition with these dominant matches that he's been having?
Yeah, really happy with his effort, obviously. I mean, he's getting himself tired because he's wrestling so hard, which is perfect, because that's kind of goes in line with kind of what we're saying, is, if you're wrestling at that pace, you might be tired, but your opponents are going to be even more tired, and we're used to it, and that's what we do. So he's done a great job of that, and we're happy with his effort, and that effort alone is going to take him a long way. But he's a competitor. He loves when the spotlight's on, and he works hard. He lives the lifestyle, and he'll just keep getting better. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys.